I mean, so many have argued that Nairobi should have not been a county, but we made it a county with the governor. But we have been disappointed, and it is not just about the current government. It is from the government which came into office from 2013. Total failure. Now we think we can cure it by creating another body, which in my view may not even cure it. So we will end up being frustrated. By the way, if I campaign for anybody, so be it. For me, Mr. Speaker, I think this bill, first, it should be taken back. Let it be withdrawn or whatever it is going to be done with. And let us have the county government of Nairobi, first of all, prove that they cannot deliver services. Then we can make a decision as a country whether we need this 47th county. If we don't need it, let us say we don't need it. Rather than, instead of creating through the back door another body to discharge duties which this body should discharge. Let us have one line of authority. If it is county government of Nairobi, we leave it there.
I rise to oppose this bill. Mr. Speaker, this bill to me is unconstitutional because looking at the functions, Mr. Speaker, actually it is the function of the county, particularly when it comes to the issues of transport, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, rumors has it that this is an authority to be created and to be given to Polycarp Igathe as the CEO, Mr. Speaker. This will be undermining Governor Songo, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker,
Honorable Amalo, I think sometimes as honorable members, I think we also owe it to ourselves not to bring matters which are irrelevant, because you want to bring names of people who cannot defend themselves on the floor. If we ask you to table the evidence about what you have just alleged, will you do it?
I said rumors has it, Mr. Speaker.
No, we are not. You are an honorable member. You are not supposed to rely on rumors.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm guided. Mr. Speaker, when you look at this bill, it is talking of 5 counties. We are talking of Kiambu, Kajiado, Murang'a, Machakos, and Nairobi. Mr. Speaker, in terms of significance, Nairobi County contributes 92%. The Kiambu, Kajiado, Murang'a, Machakos, they only contribute about 2%, Mr. Speaker. So the gist of the matter here, Mr. Speaker, as far as transport is concerned, is about Nairobi County. Mr. Speaker, I've gone through the memoranda. I was very interested to see the submissions from Nairobi County, Mr. Speaker. I've not seen anything. Because Nairobi County, as far as this bill is concerned, it is actually very, very critical, very significant. The others of Murang'a, Machakos, Kajiado, they are totally insignificant, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the greatest problems we've had in this city, we've had issues of floods, issues of traffic jams, issues of potholes, Mr. Speaker. Now, the moment we get this authority, Mr. Speaker, this country, we've suffered, people have complained about issues of wage bill, Mr. Speaker. When we create this authority, Mr. Speaker, we are going to balloon the wage bill. The critical part of this, Mr. Speaker, is we must focus on the Nairobi County, Mr. Speaker. And I was wondering whether, Mr. Speaker, Governor Songo of Nairobi is aware of this bill. Because I remember last time, Mr. Speaker, when this bill was being introduced in the last term, when Evans Kidero was the governor of Nairobi, he had put a task force in place to look into this bill and see how it's going to affect his functions. But I'm surprised where Honorable Songo is. That's why I'm asking whether he's aware.
There is an argument that possibly we are introducing ulterior authorities with a view to undermining the county government of Nairobi or the city county of Nairobi. When you look at this act carefully, nothing of that sort is provided. And even if we were to do so with a good motive to ensure that the city county of Nairobi does work to perfection and another body does come and work to perfection, then there would be no objection whatsoever. We would all be working for the good of the people of Nairobi.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I really feel that probably the bill as the way drafted is premature and generally an indictment on the management of the city affairs. Instead of merely concentrating or Nairobi area, we read an ultra motive, we'll read some mischief on the part of the national government in coming up with this particular bill. Generally, we have seen many occasions where traffic lights are working seamlessly and on their own, we never have major traffic. But many times, whenever the traffic department or traffic police steps in, the city clogs.
I think the issue of Sonko and Igathe, as raised by my friend Wamarwa, I think it is innuendo and misplaced.
Nairobi receives vehicles from all over the country. If we can insist on maintaining discipline on the roads, regardless of who is elected where, I think we can manage the transportation problem in Nairobi area without this authority. I think it is high time the county government of Nairobi was tasked, even at their level of their assembly discussion, to be the ones to discuss this thing that we are discussing here. Exactly how can we manage the transport problem in Nairobi? Because they receive money from the national government to make sure that the transport within the county is well coordinated and well managed. So, Bwana Speaker, I think what we are discussing here sounds good and really good, but if you look at it critically, to me, it is another way of just creating other bodies and positions that would create conflict further and not really solving the problem in question. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I oppose.
But Mr. Speaker, this city had the best transport, will come, and it will come at that time. And all these routes we are seeing, number 7, number 8, number 13, they were done in such a way that they were looking at the city as a whole. 7 from Kenyatta to Jericho, 22 from Jerusalem to Kabete. And you didn't have to get out in town if you are traveling. And tickets were bought in advance. And it was integrated with the East African Road Services. So you came from Mobay with a ticket, and that allowed you to use the bus system. And even in Mombasa, there was the bus services, that the ticket still applied here. That integration, obviously, we need it.
The challenge that we are having in Nairobi is not unique. If you've been to Eldoret, these challenges are still there. When you get to a small town like Embu, it's equally a mess. I represent a very small town, Mtwapa, within Kilifi South. It's one of the fastest growing towns as we speak. But if you have to travel from Kilifi to catch a flight in Mombasa, you'll be very lucky if you'll make it within 2 hours. So what am I saying then? What I'm saying is this. The challenges that we are having within Nairobi has a genesis. And I strongly believe at one point, similar towns like Eldoret, Mombasa, Kitale, we are still going to get to the situation that where Nairobi is. I would therefore suggest that instead of having Nairobi Metropolitan City, urban authority, we get a name of an authority that is going to cater for all the cities that we have within Kenya, because at one point, these same towns are going to grow to the level of Nairobi City.
Order number 8, the Nairobi Metropolitan Area Transport Authority Bill, National Assembly Bill number 41 of 2017, second reading.
Yes, Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I stand on Standing Order 53, subsection 3. And the Speaker, despite paragraph 2, if I may read, the Speaker may, on the request of a member, defer the putting of the question to a following day. In which case, Mr. Speaker, you need to protect me.
Honour members, You see,
Mr. Speaker, as a seasoned leader of majority, I knew what was going on, and I also decided to plan ahead. Mr. Speaker, despite 53 subsection 3, and I read despite paragraph 2, the Speaker may, on the request of a member, defer the putting of the question to the following day, in which case the Speaker shall thereupon nominate a time at which the question shall be put. Mr. Speaker, this is a very important and controversial bill, and I need to go, as the leader of majority and the owner of the bill, to go and do further consultation with the government. And Mr. Speaker, so Mr. Speaker, I ask you,
order members,
I ask you, Mr. Speaker, to allow me to go and do that consultation, and I'm sure, Mr. Speaker, the standing orders.
Order members.
Mr. Speaker, members must respect the standing order. The standing order is the Bible and the Quran that we use in this house. So standing order, I stand under standing order 53, subsection 3, and Mr. Speaker, I request that I do further consultation and come back to you when the House will be ready and the question can be put. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.